Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division with the tournament win here for the Vineyard Acres 9-hole cup. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you do. Bottom right corner you have a button, click it. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the ultimate tournament guides for the 9-hole cup, but also for future tournaments by becoming a Patreon. Link to patreon.com/golfclashtommy is directly in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side, get the elevation adjustment for whatever shot we are taking, combining what ball and club that I do feel is going to be the ones to use on that specific hole. Last but not least, can we get 100 likes on this video? Make sure to hit thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. In the end though, let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we are going to go, kind of for green. Like, we're going to go to be as close to the green possible. And we're going to carry over, or like gonna try to carry the ball over the rough there. You can see that I'm stretching out my club to the maximum of the abilities. Max side spin right and 4.5 bar top spin. Those of you that can play with a side spin 3 ball like a Kingmaker instead of the Titan, do that instead, because the side spin will help you get more to the right. Then I do, start off by stretching out so I can visualize my first bounce over the rough. Then release, I adjust max plus 20. So we do make an over adjustment due to the downhill approach. Once that is done, we push up to max and we're gonna go with approximately 4 rings of overpower. And for those of you that have never played with rings as overpower, you should look at the tip of the needle when you pull back your ball, and the tip of the needle should going through the 4th ring. Okay? Second shot is going to be played with a wedge. And this one is an under adjusted shot. I'm mentioning the elevation minus 10%, but in the end, when you play short wedges here, the only thing that I would do is to leave the ball guideline just outside the cup to the right and then take my shot, because the wind is not going to affect the ball much at all. You can see that I noted that I mentioned, or focusing on the apocalypse in the info box on the right, and that's because of the curl. If you play with a lower level club like extra mile level 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, etc., then it would be better to play with an apocalypse level 1 if you do have that one unlocked, because we do need to play with at least, half a ball to 1 ball of curl right. Otherwise we will risk going into the rough on the left directly with a drive. But make no mistake, this needs to be an eagle in whatever way you are playing. So this is hole number 1 for you all. For hole number 2, we are playing with the Navigator ball and Sniper level 9. And here I would like to say that if you do not have a Sniper level 8+, I would strongly recommend you to play with the Guardian instead, to be able to use the 4.5 bar backspin that we do need for this shot. 4.5 bar backspin, max side spin to the right. We have the bottom part of the blue ring by the rough line, and then you can see the tip of the ball guideline is ending up 1 green square to the left of the pin. That's our starting point for our shot. Now we're going to adjust medium distance with a 25% over adjustment. But those of you that looked closely noticed that I didn't do that in this example. I actually adjusted this one more. I adjusted 8.5 rings instead. And you can see here that we are burning this edge here to the left with a couple of decimals. So I would strongly recommend you to play medium distance with a 25% over adjustment to get a firm elevation, so we don't have to play in between club ranges. So medium distance, 25%, Navigator ball and a Sniper get in the hole. For hole number 3, we're going to play with a side spin 3 ball. Very important. We don't need to play with a Kingmaker, but with a Katana, it will be tremendously helpful to go with a side spin 3. 4.5 bar top spin, max side spin to the right, and you can see that I do stretch out my club into max to see my first bounce, because there is really where we do want the ball to land, and maybe even a little bit further up than that. Once stretching out, I then adjust from overpowered position. I adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment and I push up my club to max. Once done, I do go half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right. We don't need to use more curl, but we are most definitely not going to use less. The ball bounces nicely on the fairway and we get the ball over with a little roll to get into a very nice yardage that is 375. And also you can see here for the drive, I'm mentioning the Apocalypse once again. And that is once again, if we do have a club with very limited amount of curl, then the Apocalypse will be the most beneficial club to use. Now we're changing around to go with the Goliath as the club for the second shot. And the reason we go with the Goliath is due to its topspin. Having lower level long irons, for an example, is going to give you very low amount of topspin on your clubs. So we need 2 bars of topspin. I would highly recommend to aim on the left side of the cup as your initial starting point. Once we then have made our position, or like came to the position we want to, we adjust minimum distance, no elevation, from 375 yards. And that will be our note for this hole. We bounce into the rough nicely, we have a good speed, but once again, as I said, aim left side of the cup, and then you don't have to change your adjustment. Then we can just go purely minimum distance, no elevation, and then get in the hole. For hole number 4, we're going to play with the sniper, if you do have the sniper in at least level 8. Otherwise, I would recommend you to play with the Guardian instead to replicate the backspin. Now using 5 bars of backspin ball guideline to the hole, and with the top of the yellow ring by the start of the fringe. Once that is done, we are going to adjust this one for medium distance with a 20% over adjustment. So the 20% here is going to be added due to the downhill approach. If we don't add that, we are going to miss right all the time. 7.2 rings, and it's time to take our shot. You can also notice that I do play with the Navigator ball, which is a power 1, wind 2, side spin 1 ball. I hit great right, but looking at the end result of this shot here, I'm not disappointed with it at all. The only thing that I will have to do better the next time is to hit perfect. For hole number 5, we are going to go straight forward. Here, they give us a very tough wind, as we do have a little headwind with our approach. And playing with an extra mile in level 7 or below only gives us 4.5 bar topspin. So that's going to be difficult in itself. The thing that I would like you to do is to use the driver with the most topspin and also distance. So if you do have a Thor's Hammer level 6, that's the club for you to use. But for the sake of the generalizing part with making guides, I'm playing with 4.5 bar topspin, 1.5 bar side spin to the right, and you can see that I'm aiming very close to a maximum distance with the yellow ring by the rough line to the right. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then we're going to go with 3 rings of overpower. And make sure that when the needle goes back and forth, when you pull back your ball, the tip of the needle should be going through the blue ring completely. And now the ball comes down very nicely here on the fairway, and we leave ourselves up for a position where we can reach the green in 2. We're having headwind for the drive. Now we do have tailwind for the second shot, because we are going to play to the left now. And this is obviously going to be very helpful. I'm using 1.2 backspin, but I would recommend to go with 1. But the thing is here though, is that we do want to just get the ball over the rough. And we need to use the club like a big dog or a cataclysm that gives us a lot of power as that. And in that way, it will for us be a nice possibility to just get it down, getting the eagle, and then be done with it. Because we will see a lot of players missing the eagle here, because it's a very difficult par 5. So if we can consistently make the eagle here, we're gonna be in a very good spot. Sometimes you might clip the rough, but then you will still roll out and having a wedge. And this wedge is very, very simple. And that is something I can be okay with if I do make a little less overpower than needed. But have in mind, overpower will be needed for the second shot as well. And once again, this is a tough par 5. And, you know, be focused, be careful, and get that freaking eagle. For hole number 6, we are going to play just straightforward, using our quarterback once again to give ourselves a better accuracy and a better ball guideline. 3 bars of topspin, 3 bars of side spin to the right, and then we're looking for a position where we are going to have ourselves with the blue ring being, fourth ring being by the rough to the right. And as you can see as well, we did change in the end to 3.5 bar topspin and still kept the 3 bars of right spin. We are in max distance and we do adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then it's time to take our shot. Perfect ball, and we're going to see this ball coming to around 315 to 320 yards. But this hole here is not really important to note down the yardage, as we are not playing a linear hole, and we're then gonna play over to the left. Now we do have more or less a straight tailwind towards the pin, and I tried the rough bump but couldn't get any consistency with that type of shot, so I went back to the normal way of playing. Red ring by the rough line, and then leaving the ball guideline short, adjusting medium distance with a 10% under adjustment, because this shot here is played uphill. Now you can see that the ball bounces where we want to, but we came in too hot, and this is kind of famous for this hole in general, that we do need to leave the ball guideline even shorter than that to compensate for the extended ball guideline we're gonna get. This is not going to be a consistent eagle, but in my opinion it's definitely gonna be a good chance. For hole number 7, we are using the sniper. If you do have the possibility of playing with the sniper level 8 or more, we're using the white ring to the left by the rough line and the red ring to the right by the rough line to give ourselves a clear reference. 5 bars of backspin, and then we're going to apply 2 bars of side spin to the right. Last but not least, we are going to adjust medium distance with a 10% over adjustment. Now when we're gonna take our shot, you're gonna notice that the ball, when it comes in, it kind of hits this little glitch roll from the top of the green. So the thing that I would like you to do here is to actually add a little bit more backspin instead. So using 5.2 backspin will prevent us from getting this massive roll on this hole. So 5.2 backspin and go with approximately 2 bars of right spin. You know, I could consider using 1.5 right spin instead. Also because we missed on the right side. But general adjustment, medium distance, plus 10, navigator ball, so it's a power 1 ball settings. For hole number 8, we are going to go with our quarterback, 3.5 bar topspin, as much side spin to the right possible. And here I'm actually using a no movement shot, so I'm actually not touching my target until it's time to adjust my reins. I adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then going with approximately half a ball of curl outside the adjustment rein to the right. And we're gonna see that the ball bounces on the fairway. And then even though we're using curl and side spin, we will not be close to the rough, as the fairway slopes right to left, and will then push our ball out to the left a little bit in the end. Now, second shot, I play this one, 25% club, I play this one medium distance club, but we should be playing this one more or less minimum distance club here. We're using 3 bars of backspin, ball guideline slightly through the hole, and bottom part of the yellow ring by the by the cutoff between the sand and the rough line. Adjustment was 5.2 here, and again we should be playing this one more or less minimum distance, but this is a work in progress for hole number 8. But I do believe that the rough bump here with the wind that we're having is going to be the play to get an eagle, because sure, we could go directly on green using the Guardian, but getting the eagle that way is gonna be very close to not existing, to be honest, because it requires with a lot of good bounces and a nice little roll. So if you do want to go for the eagle on this one in a good way, then you go for the rough bump, but make sure to measure your club distance before taking your shot, and we play no elevation for the second shot. Kingmaker as a ball just to reduce the wind for the second shot, not so much for the power in general. For hole number 9, we are going to start with the quarterback. Doesn't matter what quarterback level you're having, this is the club that we are going to play with. The reason why is due to the fact that we do then have a good ball guideline and a good accuracy, because the plan for us here is to get this ball to be as close to the rough line on the top possible. White ring by the rough line using 3 bars of side spin to the right. And the reason I'm not just going straight down the middle is because I like to always have a reference with my shot. So I'm using the white ring to just give myself a clear one, max distance, white ring by the rough line, and then I adjust the spin. I adjust max plus 10, so maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment, and then I take my shot. Once done that, we're going to go and play the second shot, which is going to be with the wood club that gives us the most distance and topspin. It could be the big dog, it could be the cataclysm, it could be the horizon. Because the only thing that we're looking for here now is to transport, not transportate, transport our ball down the fairway as far down possible without obviously rolling into the rough. I adjust maximum distance, no elevation, push up my club into max after my adjustment, and now I'm going with 3 rings of overpower, meaning that the tip of the needle, when you pull back your ball into the adjustment ring, it should be going through the blue ring or the 3rd ring by that needle to get the amount of rings that is needed for overpower. Like 3rd shot, I'm so used to saying 2nd shot for the approach. You can go for a dunk if you feel frisky, but you know, the normal way of playing it is to aim directly at the pin. Here, unfortunately, I do seem to aim right side of the cup, but that might be just my eyes that fools me a little bit. But aim directly at the pin. You need to measure how far or how much distance are you with your club, and that's going to be difficult as you do not have any yardage. You don't have really any good references to work with there either, so you will have to guesstimate and do your best to that. Unfortunately, we will be burning the right edge here on hole number 9, which is totally fine. Left edge. God damn it with my wording today. But left edge. But in the end though, this is a hole where an eagle is considered a drop, but if you're gonna win this tournament, you will have to include this one as in your potential drops, because an eagle here is a good chance whether we like it or not. So let's get it and get in the hole. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro Division with the wind that we do have in the Vineyard Acres 9-hole cup. The video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Don't forget to hit thumbs up before you leave. Also get the best guides on the market by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link in the description down below. Thank you once again for watching, and a massive good luck in your Golf Clash game.